Okay, so this is a walk around we do every time that we do a transit stop. So it starts in this area here. So this point here is the inlet for the air conditioning for the avionics, and the exhaust is on the other side. So check the oxygen hasn't discharged. There's some pitot tubes there that we have to check are clear. And then as we come out towards the front of the aircraft, we're looking at the radome to make sure it hasn't been damaged on flight with either hail or a bird strike or anything like that. Check that the static ports are clear on up the top there, and there's the outlet here for the air conditioning for the avionics. Look at the condition of the nose wheel. We go to Honiara, which has got quite sharp stones on the runway, and that's why these ones are cut like that. Making sure the takeoff light, the landing light, and the turn-off lights are all not broken, and the pins are out of the undercarriage itself. So on this side here, we're checking the cargo doors closed, the latch is fully in, and that these little lockers here have got a little green line that's in there. Make sure that they're closed, and that tells us that the door is locked. So as we come down this way, this is the refueling panel. So engineers and pilots set this up, and this is how we select how much fuel is going to be unloaded. So if you can look there, we've just put on 1,700 kilos, so we arrive with 10. We're departing Vila with 11,700 kilos of fuel. So behind you there is the engines. Fire extinguisher hold covers up the top there, and that yellow part of this part is what the thrust reversers are, so that comes out and redirects thrust forward. So it's the front of the V2500 engine. Just check that there hasn't been any marks or any dings that have come in there from any rocks or anything like that. It spins quite freely, as you can see, and that little rubber nose there is for ice shedding. It's actually rubber, and if that's not there, we can't go. Checking the same thing on this side here. Thrust reversers, the covers on the fire extinguisher. Coming along the leading edge, we make sure that there's no dings in the leading edge or anything untoward. There's our refueling cap there. We've got one on each side, and the little arrow there pointing forward tells us that it's been put back on correctly. Coming out on the wingtip, if you look up in that little receptacle there, you can see a white mark there that's actually a cross, and if you can't see that, it means that the bladder for the outer wing tank has moved. As we come out to the wingtip itself, the nav light there, green one's on, and you check that we've got the static wicks on the aileron and the fence on the end there. And while we're out here, at the same time we look and make sure that the static wicks are on the rudder and the top of the stabilizer. So coming back down this way. Hello, you good? We just checked that these are called canoes, that they haven't had any damage. Check the back of the engine there is all clear. Come onto the tyres and you just check that there's no scrub marks or deep cuts, as sometimes can happen. And these things here indicate how much brake wear has gone on. So these ones are fairly new, and these ones you can see are fairly in, so those ones have been on the wheel a lot longer than the other ones. There's where the landing light is, and the rest of the undercarriage. Just make sure the landing light's not cracked or black, means they're blown. So this is the rear cargo hold. You can see a there's a couple of vents at the top there. That's where, if we use fire extinguisher, that's where it comes out of, and that floods the whole hold full of fire extinguisher, and it's sealed off in there, and it should last about 2 hours. The striated line there, that's the top of the cargo loads, so there's nothing allowed to go above that line, and nothing's allowed to touch the roof, because otherwise fire extinguisher won't spread across the top of the cargo, and if it's touching the roof, it doesn't mean fire extinguisher can get to the bit that may be burning there. It gets a little bit noisier down this end. So there's the bulk cargo hold door there. That's for bigger pieces of cargo. There's a bit more room to put longer pieces in. And that door that you can see down there, the half door that's open, that's for the outflow valve, which controls the pressurization system. I won't go down too much further down the back because it's really noisy. So just looking at the tail a little bit closer in on the elevator, just make sure there's no big dings or anything like that. And then on the tail itself, a little bit closer, you can see the static wicks on the rudder. The mast there that there's down the bottom here that you can see is letting out all the water. That's the rear galley and rear toilet's drain mast. There's one for the forward toilet as well. And the little hole that's in between there, that's where all the exhaust from the toilet flush system, that's where it all comes out. Not the honey, just the air. And if you look further to the back there, you can see another cover there. That's where the black box lives. And the little thing that's sticking out right at the end there is the air intake for the APU and bleed air, which the APU provides for air conditioning on the ground. And also as a backup in the air too. I'll leave you with half a walk around and we'll go and get ready for our next sector. Starting one. Okay, start complete, clear to disconnect, look at me at the front. Thank you to us, look here.
Okay, happy for me to circle these.
Yeah. Space clearance started, our start checklist.
After start checklist, anti-house.
Off.
ECAM status.
Checked.
Pitch trim.
Is 27% set.
Rudder trim.
Neutral.
After start checklist complete.
Check. Clear left side.
Clear outside.
Taxi enter lineup runway 11.
Taxi enter lineup runway 11, event 50.
Event 50, correct. Clearance went up to copy.
Stand by.
Stand by.
Happy we're clear all the way out?
Yeah, I'll just check it's clear on the right here. Clear right.
And brakes. And yeah, race clearance and go from there.
Go ahead, clearance please.
750, Vanuatu 370, start available to traffic. Cleared to Auckland via L6, flight plan route, follow 330, spec level change en route, 115 departure. Now the prime is 13261, secondary 8867.
And clear to enter lineup.
Okay.
Event 50 is cleared to Auckland via L6 flight plan route, flight level 330. Cleared for the runway 11 south departure, 8867 and 13261.
Event 50 correct, 95 is 13 and secondary 88.
13261 primary, event 50.
150.
And just confirm it is clear left.
Yep, clear right.
Okay, flight controls.
Full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral,
Rudder.
full left, full right, neutral. Yep, we're level 330.
Yeah, check. Set level, flight level 330.
330 set.
Departure review.
Okay, clear to Auckland via L6 flight plan route, flight level 330.
Let's check, no changes. We got climb nav, flight level 330 is blue.
Check.
And the taxi checklist down to ECAM ammo.
Taxi checklist, flight controls.
Checked.
Checked. Flap setting.
Conf 1 plus F.
Config 1 plus F radar and predictive wind shear system.
On and auto.
Engine mode select.
Norm.
ECAM memo.
Takeoff, no blue.
Cabin.
Ready.
Taxi checklist complete.
Check. I'm ready if you are.
Event 50 is ready.
Event 50, surface wind 120 at 11 knots, runway 11, clear for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 11, event 50.
Line up checklist.
Run up checklist, takeoff runway.
Runway 11's confirmed.
Runway 11, TKS.
TAI.
X 1 and 2.
On.
Run up checklist complete.
Check. Happy with the rolling start, sir?
Sure am.
takeoff. And flex 58 SOS over thrust blue. Check. Thrust set. 100 knots. Check. V1. Rotate. Positive climb.
Yeah.
Gear up.
Nah.
Check. Thrust climb auto thrust.
And climb.
Check.
Flap 0.
Space checked. Flap 0, and we've got a com fault.
And com fault, yeah, we'll leave that there until we get above transition. Autopilot 1 on, is on.
Check.
Vila Airman 50 departs Vila 0112, 3000 climbing flight level 330, estimating LSEC 0127.
Airman 50 Vila copy, contact 90 now, report established two-way comms.
Fully established two-way comms, Airman 50.
Airman 50.
transition. Set standard. Standard set cross check passing flight level 112. Now checked. Gear flaps and packs, it's okay. It looks smooth. Seatbelt sign off. So again? Seatbelt sign off. Done. So good afternoon. We're now established, we're about halfway to Auckland from Port Vila. Our call sign's now Airvan 50. We're maintaining 37,000 feet, and we're just coming up to the equi-time point between Vanuatu and Auckland, which you can see on the chart here, or on the nav display. So up until that point we're going back to Noumea, and beyond that point we're going on to Auckland if we have any sort of emergency. At the moment we've got quite a good ground speed. We've got the wind is 285 at 125 knots, so that's giving us roughly a 50 knot tailwind. So made up a little bit of time getting to Auckland today, and at this stage we should be there in just on an hour and a quarter's time. So this is our routing that we're following today. Port Vila's up the top here. We've got New Zealand and Auckland down here, and the two airports that we keep our eye on as we're going along is Vanuatu, which is New Caledonia, and Norfolk Island. And down on the arrival we've got Hamilton there, and a little bit further up is Wellington. So today we're carrying Wellington as our alternate for Auckland. All our flight planning, we plan to arrive with enough fuel to go to an alternate everywhere we go. Today that's Wellington. As you can see, we've got some reporting points here, so mandatory reporting points are annotated by an M there. So at Saddam, which we've just gone past, we now change over to Auckland Oceanic, and they look after us all the way into the Auckland FIR boundary, which is at a place called Dugan there. Today anticipating an ILS approach into Auckland, which will be programming into the FMGC shortly before we start our descent. So for our weather, we're en route today. We can call up just about anywhere in the world and get their weather. So this is part of the programming behind the FMGC, and it's available to us so we can ask for weather. So at the moment I've asked for Auckland and Wellington's weather, and we just hit send. And very shortly it's queued to send. It'll tell us it's sending, and then we wait for the printout to come out of the printer that we have in the pedestal. So this is one we used earlier on to go into Port Vila. That's the format it comes in. So there's the META for Vila, November Victor Victor Victor. It's valid from today, the 5th at 2300 Zulu. The wind in Vila for our arrival, this is pretty accurate, 110 degrees at 10 knots. Visibility is greater than 10 kilometres. Cloud is broken at 2,000 feet. and the temperature is 28 degrees, the dew point 24, and the QNH 1013. So that's what we use for all our calculations for landing distances, and that can also be used for confirming our takeoff performance as well. So here we've just got one come through now from Auckland. So it was issued at 0200, so 35 minutes ago. It's an automatic production of the weather. The wind is 220 at 13 knots. Visibility is greater than no visibility is greater than 10 kilometres. NCD stands for no clouds detected. It's quite balmy, 19 degrees, and the dew point's 12, so quite dry, and the QNH is 1014. A little bit windier down at Wellington, which is pretty normal. It's a southerly down there, blowing up to 22 knots, and 11 degrees. So we don't want to go to Auckland. So the question's been asked, how come Solomon Airlines flying an Air Van flight, or Air Vanuatu flight? We have an agreement with Air Vanuatu that where we can, we operate our aircraft, our A320, for their 737 service. At the moment, our main route is between Brisbane and Vila, Brisbane and Santo, return. And twice a week we go Brisbane, Vila, down to Auckland, spend the night in Auckland and come back the next day via Vila, sometimes via Honiara, back to Brisbane. So yes, it's a very amicable relationship that we have with them. Wherever possible, we try and facilitate their charters and or extra flying that they might end up getting or want us to do as well. So a little bit about Solomon Airlines, I guess. It's been around for 60 years. We just had our 60th anniversary. It started off back in the days of, back in the 60s with Megapode Airways, then it changed to Sol Air, and then it became Solomon Airlines. So from a very early age, flying Barons and Islanders around the country domestically, they've grown to initially get a 737, and then they changed over to an A320, and now we've leased our second A320. So there is the chance of further expansion, which I'm hoping will come about over the next couple of years. At the moment, we're just trying to bed down the second aircraft and get it organised and settle down into a regular schedule. We're looking at 16 pilots on the A320, and there's currently around about 30 pilots on the domestic fleet, which consists of a... so domestic fleet at the moment is a Dash 8, and we have 3 Twin Otters that operate all through the domestic network throughout the Solomon Islands. Headquarters is in Honiara at Henderson Field, and we have a base in Brisbane, which is where most of the A320 pilots are based. That operates out of the international terminal at Brisbane Airport.
Information Echo, confirm 1014, speed 250 knots.
77,000 speed by the Star, Information Echo, and 250 knots reducing Airvan 50.
250 knots selected. Check.
oxygen.
Set QNH.
014. QNH 1014, set cross-check passing 14,900. Now,
Check, there's no change to the approach briefing. ATC have slowed us down to 50 knots and runway 23 left. I suppose there's no reason why we can't do the approach checklist.
approach checklist, better ref.
1014 set.
1014, seatbelts.
On.
Minimum.
Barrow 223.
Auto brake.
Sim 16 and 2 in contact Auckland approach 1296.
129.
129.
Call for approach, Airvan 50, standing by the star, 7,000 feet, 250 knots.
Airvan 50, approach made, set by star to 5,000 feet.
Set by the star to 5,000 feet, Airvan 50.
No, 450, there's an A320 on an 8 mile final, the one you're following is literally left 9 o'clock, 10 miles slow and just about to turn on the final. Understood, still looking power 450.
Start that again, thanks Carmen. Approach checklist.
Okay, 5,000 blue is checked.
5,000 checked, yep.
Approach checklist, Barrow ref.
1014 set.
1014, seatbelts.
On.
Minimum.
Barrow 223.
Auto brake.
Low.
Engine mode select.
Norm.
Approach checklist complete.
Check.
Airvan 50.
Activate approach phase. And we've got thrust dial open, set heading. Speeds managed.
That's checked. Approach phase active.
Flaps 1, thanks sir.
Speeds checked. Flap 1. No change to the status.
Status, remove status. $3,000 blue.
3,000 is checked.
And India Mike Golf is identified. 231 is checked.
It's checked.
So, heading 190, still got 3,000 for the descent. And we've got L glide slope low blue, Cat 1, autopilots 1 and 2.
dual.
Yep, check.
Flaps allowed.
Check. Speed's vanished.
Check. 800 to go.
Check. Like so.
Check. Local off.
Check. Speed out Starlight.
Check. Radio LCR.
Check. Last left star, flaps 2.
Check. Speed's checked. Flap 2.
Current altitude 3000 is set.
Check.
Close lap.
Check.
Get out.
Get on.
Flaps 3.
Speed's checked. Flap 3.
The flaps full, landing checklist.
Speed's checked. Flaps full. Landing checklist, TK memo.
Landing no blue.
Kevin,
Ready.
landing checklist complete.
Check.
1000 was stable.
Check. Parts off.
Check.
Cat 1.
Check.
Land.
Check.
Hundred above.
Check.
Minimum.
Continue.
One 100. 50. 30. 20. Retard. Retard. 5.
Spoilers.
Manual braking.
Reverse screen. DSL.
This was Alpha 8, isn't it?
This one coming up on our right, yep. 70 knots.
Check. Okay. There you are. You have to give us indications on that one, mate.
Clear right, so left here,
Left here. Okay.
and right onto Lima, which is just
Okay,
as we
yep.
come up here.
This one's Lima.
AFM.
Hundred above. Minimum. One 100. 50. 30. 20. Retard. Retard. Drive. Hundred above. Minimum. One 100. 50. 30. 20. Retard. Retard. Drive.
And the after landing checklist.
Off landing checklist, radar and predictive wind shear.
Off.
Off landing checklist complete.
Check. Foxtrot's down the end.
Hey, firm.
It's almost straight ahead.
Right to the end there, then it's the one in the corner. Okay, you're VHF1, I'm going to try the company again.
Gate 1.
Hey, firm.
A320 green light.
It's checked.
If you lead. Slides are disarmed.